I'm Callum Smith in for Todd Battis. It's Wednesday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. This is CTV News at 6.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 6. Here is Callum Smith.
Good evening. We begin with tragedy over the holidays. One person is dead after a fire on Fredericton's north side. Crews were called to Barton Crescent before 8 p.m. last night to find heavy fire at this home. Fredericton's fire chief says it was extinguished within an hour and the only person inside was pulled from the home within the first few minutes of the response. They were taken to hospital where they later died. The cause of the fire is under investigation. A 19-year-old Nova Scotia man is now facing several charges in connection with a fatal collision this fall. 2 people were killed when a car struck a tree on School Street in Dartmouth in September. Police say a 19-year-old woman who was a passenger in the vehicle died on the scene. Another passenger, a 19-year-old man, was taken to hospital and later died. Thomas Ryan McEachran was arrested yesterday and will appear in court in February to face 2 counts each of impaired driving causing death, operating a vehicle causing death, dangerous driving causing death, and a single charge of fleeing police. A New Brunswick man is facing aggravated assault and assault with a weapon charges after an incident at a business on Union Street in St. John. Police say they were called before 5:30 last evening for a 28-year-old female employee who they say was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The 38-year-old male suspect allegedly fled the scene and was due in court today. St. John police say the man and woman were not known to one another. On our website, an Annapolis County man is facing 27 charges after the Mounties conducted a search at a home in Fredericton. Details at ctvnewsatlantic.ca. There are those who get their holiday shopping done nice and early, and there are those who wait until the last possible minute. Stores and malls were busy with people looking for that one final gift, so we sent CTV's Avery McCrae out to see what they were looking for.
It's always a scramble at the last minute.
With just hours left to find that one final gift, Josh Weaver was still on the hunt.
Dad's usually the hardest to shop for, so something good for him, maybe had to drop by Canadian Tire or something like that.
He and many others in St. John flocked to McAllister Place, where inside stores were filled with those needing one last thing to put under the tree.
I'm just shopping around with my family for my parents. What should we buy for?
More pretzels.
Yeah, more pretzels.
I'm all done, but my mom is trying to get the last little bit done because there's always just something left to buy.
For those who have completed their shopping for others, they have just one more person to treat.
I got some PJs from Le'Veon Rose.
Are you shopping for yourself or those for other people?
Myself.
What are the hot items this year coming off the shelves?
Labubus.
Lori Spencer says it's been a busy month, particularly over the last few days.
She's been pretty good this year. Most people are happy and they seem to be enjoying themselves.
While the spirit is bright, there are those ready for a day off.
We haven't got a chance to even sit or take up water, go to washroom or do anything. It was so busy, it was overwhelmed, but it was so good.
After today, staff in stores like these will get a well-deserved break, but it'll be short-lived, as come the weekend, the lineups will be lengthy again for Boxing Day sales that start Saturday. Avery McCrae, CTV News, St. John.
Maritimers are traveling near and far this holiday. Depending on where you're going, it may mean busy terminals and potential delays. CTV's Vanessa Wright reports.
With just hours before Christmas, Maritimers are hoping for a swift and smooth flight as they get set for a busy holiday weekend.
I am traveling to Toronto and I'm visiting my family and friends. I have big plans for the dinners and we are going out clubbing and shopping.
I'm traveling to Montreal today.
We're heading to Toronto.
We have 2 daughters there and 2 grandsons and a granddaughter and our first great-granddaughter, and it's a surprise. Nobody knows we're coming yet.
Halifax's International Airport was quiet this morning. Officials say most of the holiday traffic came and went.
Things quiet down a little bit as we get closer to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Everyone is hopefully where they want to be for the holidays, and we'll see an uptick in activity as well Boxing Day onwards.
Still, airport officials encourage people to check the status of their flight beforehand.
Even though there may not be snow or winter weather here, there still could be impacts to the flight schedules overall.
Well, my flight is delayed right now, so I'm not sure if I'll be reaching Toronto or not, but I'm worried about the flight when I'm coming back.
Others are hoping to have better luck by bus.
I'm going from Halifax to Moncton today on the bus. I hate driving on Cobequid Pass this time of year, so I'm going to take the bus. Best way to go.
I can take the bus. Sometimes I get a ride, but I'm happy to take the bus around the holidays.
For those traveling by plane, passengers are reminded to check what items are suitable to bring.
CATSA has a lot of tips on what you can and can't bring in your carry-on and in your checked bag. And over the holidays, that can include wrapped gifts. So that's an important one to keep in mind.
As thousands make their holiday departure during a special time of year. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
And it was a frigid afternoon for last-minute shoppers in downtown Halifax. So will cold conditions continue through Christmas? Let's get our first look at the weather. For that, we go to CTV meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell. Kaylin, we've been talking all week about White Christmas. What's the final verdict?
Well, it is going to be for some parts of the Maritimes that already have 2 centimeters of snow on the ground. Other areas that are absent, though, there's not a lot of snow in the forecast for tonight, so it's probably going to be absent for Christmas morning. Though on Christmas Day itself, there will be parts of the region that do get into some flurries as well as some light snow. It is going to be cold into and through the holiday stretch for us here in the Maritimes. Travel conditions should generally be okay, except for a couple of spots, and we'll talk more about that later on in the details of the forecast. Now, we did miss most of the snow from a low pressure system that made its way through the northeastern United States. That has now developed into quite the ocean storm and is going to become a winter storm for Newfoundland and Labrador over the holiday stretch. So there they are looking at some impacts to travel. And if you're looking at the ferry services between the Maritimes and Newfoundland and maybe some of the flights, you want to be checking in on that over the next couple of days in case there are disruptions. Because as we take a look at some of the weather alerts that have been issued for Newfoundland, they do consist of a winter storm warning that extends from the Avalon Peninsula all the way up towards the northern peninsula. Other areas underneath blowing snow advisories, and that stormy weather is expected to make its way into parts of Labrador as well, with the southeast of Labrador underneath an orange level winter storm warning. That means weather conditions there are expected to be a step above those going to be experienced in Newfoundland, and that includes the potential for some snowfall amounts that could get in the range of around 30 to 50 centimeters, and some wind gusts that could get up between 100 and 120 kilometers per hour, creating some areas of blowing and drifting snow whiteout conditions. This won't be the only storm that Newfoundland and Labrador have to deal with over the next couple of days. Neither of these two weather systems having a major impact on the Maritimes, but they both go on to be winter storms for Newfoundland and Labrador. The first one, we just looked at those weather alerts in place for it, really impacting Newfoundland and Labrador Christmas Day into Boxing Day, and the second storm after that arriving on the weekend, Saturday into Sunday for the region. Now here in the Maritimes, I did mention that we are expecting some snow for tomorrow, and we'll go over that in detail when I'm back just a little bit later on. Callum.
Okay, thanks so much, Kaylin. We will see you for that full forecast a bit later in the show. In Dartmouth, some residents were without water after a water main break this morning. This was the scene as water was shut off in the Brightwood Avenue area early this morning. Crews spent the morning doing an emergency repair on the water main break, and Brightwood Avenue was closed to traffic. This is the latest in a series of water main breaks in the Halifax area over the past few weeks. The holidays, of course, are for spending time with family and friends, but the mother of a New Brunswick teen who had an impact on people all over the globe doesn't want people to forget how important blood donations are this time of year. CTV's Derek Haggett has a story.
For the first time in years, Anne Schofield is in the Christmas spirit. Her daughter, Rebecca, passed away in 2018 at the age of 18 after a courageous battle with brain cancer. The holidays have been hard ever since. Before her death, Rebecca inspired people worldwide to share acts of kindness through her Becca Told Me To movement.
She once told me she thought she'd be forgotten. She had no legacy. She hadn't lived long enough to have a purpose. If she could see it now.
Years later, Becca is still inspiring people to be kind. Once again, her mom has partnered with Canadian Blood Services to encourage people to donate in Becca's honor.
She got multiple blood donations while she was going through her journey with cancer, and they improved her quality of life while she was sick.
It can be a challenge to get donors over the holidays, and some may not even realize clinics are open.
Period like Christmas time, you know, like there's always a lot of accidents. They're always in need of blood, of course.
Well, there's no bad time to come, I guess, but I don't know, just to give a little gift to everyone else as well.
I think it's important, and since I have blood and I'm healthy, I think it's good that I give to other people that need it.
Schofield says Becca loved Christmas and cherished time with family.
Everything was a wonderful gift, whether it was a pair of socks or a new doll. Everything was just what she wanted, and it was wonderful.
Blood donations aren't just for accident victims, Schofield says, but for surgeries and people who are sick, like her daughter was. Moncton's blood clinic will be closed on Christmas, but it'll reopen on Boxing Day for anybody still in the holiday spirit who wants to give the gift of blood. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
There's a new millionaire in the Maritimes just in time for Christmas. Atlantic Lotto says a ticket sold on their website from last night's Lotto Max draw is a Max Millions winner worth $1 million. No details on the prize winner just yet, but ALC says the ticket was sold in Nova Scotia. Christmas Eve is all about traditions, and for one fire department in our region, bringing the community together on the ice. In Memramcook today, firefighters were spreading some holiday cheer and reminders about fire safety this time of year. CTV's Josh Smith was there.
Let's do this! On Christmas Eve, the rink in Memramcook was filled with holiday music, laughter, and a few familiar faces. This is the 10th year the volunteer fire department has hosted a free public skate on Christmas Eve, complete with refreshments and a visit from St. Nick himself.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas! Yeah, Christmas Eve is something that is special. A lot of people are not working, and you give something to do with the kids in the morning before.
But behind the festive fun is an important reminder about fire safety this time of year.
If you have a real tree, make sure it's always well watered. Unplug the lights when you do it. Make sure that if you do use real candles, make sure you put them out before you go to bed. One of a good cause of fires also with cooking a turkey and stuff like that.
Firefighters traded hoses for skates, and for families, sharing the ice with Santa and Sparky the fire dog was a festive highlight.
Just being able to help out the community.
It gave us something fun to do.
Yeah.
Yes, I find that 24 can be a long day with a kid at home.
Yeah, well, it's fun because you see a lot of people, you can say Merry Christmas.
From free skates to fire safety is a reminder that the most simplest traditions can bring people together the most. Josh Smith, CTV News, Memramcook, New Brunswick.
All right, thanks, Josh. Still ahead, a maritime gym gets people in shape and, more importantly, helps the community on Christmas Eve. We'll have that story in a few moments. It's well known that Santa Claus can't bring presents until all the children are snug in their beds, and that time is coming soon. We can confirm that Santa Claus is on his way. NORAD, the North American Air Defense Command, is tracking Santa's sleigh over Europe.
Bonjour. Santa has just entered France and flown by the Eiffel Tower in Paris. French children should be in bed soon because Père Noël, as Santa is called in France, can only deliver toys when they are asleep.
Welcome back. A gym floor in Dartmouth turned into something more than a place to break a sweat today as people push their limits for a cause built on recovery. CTV's Hafsa Arif has the story.
Inside 360 Fit, more than 50 people dropped to the floor, pushing through a high-intensity workout. But today, it's not about personal bests.
We do a fundraiser for the Helm. So my son spent a year at the Helm. It's a sober living home for men. My son spent about 8 years in addiction, and the Helm absolutely saved his life.
The gym is owned by Devin Sherrington. His son Ray knew he had a problem by the age of 14, and for years it controlled his life.
Before I went to the Helm, my whole personality was
I didn't really have a personality. I was just like a delinquent drug addict. I thought I was going to die young. I didn't really care about my future. I had no sense of self.
The turning point came through what Devin calls a hidden gem.
They run completely on donation. And knowing that going in, I just felt like this is something where I can help.
The Helm offers a year-long sober living program for men, something Devin has seen make a difference.
They save lives every single day. I mean, my son's a perfect example of that. So I want people just to know about the amazing work they do.
For Rain, that time changed everything.
One of the mission statement of the Helm is to help men trapped in addictions find meaning, purpose, and direction. And that's certainly what I found when I was there.
Now sober and thriving in school, Rain returns to the gym each year to raise money for the program that helped save his life.
Are able to function because of events like this and individual people and businesses and whatnot that donate their money and time to the Helm.
This is the 4th year of the fundraiser, raising more than $9,000 so far. But for a father who once didn't know where to turn, the impact goes beyond the money raised.
I basically got the kid that I knew before back, but even better than he was before. So what they did for us, it changed his life, but it changed my life, my daughter's life, our whole family's life.
And the message they hope people take away.
If it's possible for me, then it's certainly possible for somebody else.
A workout with purpose, turning effort into impact and hope into action. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Dartmouth.
All right, we want to remind you about our year-end web poll. Our newsroom has chosen what we see as the top 8 stories in the region this past year, and we want to know, what do you think was the top news story in the Maritimes in 2025? Here are your options on the screen: the cost of living, the drought, homelessness, labor disputes, the missing Sullivan siblings, Nova Scotia Power's cyber breach, trade and U.S. relations, or wildfires. Let us know what you think at ctvnewsatlantic.ca. The year-end web poll will run throughout the holidays. Before we take a break, another update from NORAD as Santa Claus continues his westbound journey. Let's take a look.
NORAD Santa cams have just spotted Santa flying over the United Kingdom, and it appears he's circling the skies near London, England. There have been no delays for Santa here in England, and the rest of his journey is expected to go smoothly.
Alrighty, there's a cool shot here. Soaring above Northwest Arm and Cape Breton this morning. A cold Christmas Eve in Cape Breton, Kalen.
Yeah, that it is. I mean, nighttime temperatures across the Maritimes tonight, like they have been over the past couple of nights, well down into the minus single digits, and in some cases down into the minus teens. Got a bit in the way of some flurries on the go, and a little bit more in the way of some snow expected through the day on Christmas Day for the region. So not everybody will have that 2 centimeters of snow on the ground that constitutes a white Christmas.
Some will be missing it.
For Christmas morning. Some will be missing it in the region, but many locations will see at least a little bit of festive snow fall through the day. Let's take a look at what's going on. We're going to begin with my own naughty and nice list for Christmas Day weather around the Maritimes. And remember, it's definitely on the naughty side for Newfoundland and Labrador with those 2 storms coming in. Temperatures, we'll go slightly towards the naughtier side because they are below average for the end of December. It's cold out there, but a lot of people expect colder temperatures around for Christmas. Precipitation as well, a little bit towards the naughty side. We do have some areas of some flurries and snow in the forecast for tomorrow. In most cases, it shouldn't disrupt travel around the Maritimes, but there's a few spots to watch. And winds don't look like they're going to be particularly strong by our standards here in the region. Let's talk more about that snow. So first of all, for tonight around the Maritimes, cloudy periods, colder temperatures, isolated flurries. In the forecast for tomorrow, though, we have this next round of snow and flurries that's going to be making its way out of the province of Quebec. That'll develop first in the province of New Brunswick throughout Thursday morning, with the snow possibly steadier for western areas of New Brunswick. And then the snow and the flurries make their way towards Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia late morning through Thursday afternoon. Now, for most of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia, it is expected to be flurries, but with the potential of the snow becoming steadier, especially in the afternoon, for southwestern areas of Nova Scotia. Potential overall snowfall amounts for most of the Maritimes, and the lighter snow or flurries, trace amounts up to around a few centimeters locally. But then you can see the possibility of some pockets of 5 to 10 centimeters of snow for the communities in the westernmost areas of New Brunswick and the southwest of Nova Scotia. So if you're traveling through those areas throughout the day on Thursday, just be careful because there could be a little bit more in the way of some snow-covered roads, making things a little bit slipperier through that part of the Maritimes. Winds in the forecast for tonight, mostly out of the north, and tomorrow's winds, a little bit variable in direction, mostly sustained between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour with a few gusts up between 20 and 40. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight around the region. Well, for New Brunswick tonight, a lot of lows will be falling into a range around -14 to -18, close to -12 for Grand Manan and Moncton, down to around -7 for Charlottetown tonight. But in general, for Prince Edward Island, low temperatures between around -7 and -9. And for Nova Scotia tonight, most of the low temperatures between -6 and -9. Sydney at around -4. High temperatures in the forecast for tomorrow in New Brunswick. It's going to be between -5 and -8 for most communities, -4 Grand Manan, -5 for Charlottetown, many communities in Prince Edward Island for tomorrow. And for Nova Scotia, most of the high temperatures between around -1 and -4, a +1 at Yarmouth. Let's look ahead a little bit and talk about weather conditions for Friday. So for Boxing Day, general mix of sun and cloud around the Maritimes, but there is going to be a blustery and cold north wind. And as that north wind blows over some of the ocean waters around the region, it does have a chance to carry in some flurries. So it's flurries in the forecast on Friday, Boxing Day, for Prince Edward Island around the north shore of Nova Scotia and into Cape Breton. And for that part of the Maritimes, among the flurries, there will be a risk of some snow squalls. It's also possible that we see some flurries generated off the Bay of Fundy and into southwestern areas of Nova Scotia. Temperatures are going to be cold on Boxing Day with the highs mostly between -8 and -12 for New Brunswick, -5 for Charlottetown and Prince Edward Island. The high temperatures for Nova Scotia between -3 and -7. How about the start of the upcoming weekend? Well, there's that storm system, the second storm system impacting parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. You can see, though, that it's mostly sitting to the northeast of the Maritimes. It is likely to keep our winds gusty on Saturday and mostly out of the north, and because of that, temperatures are going to be cold. Wind chill will be a factor on Saturday around the region. Looking at highs of -7 to -10 for New Brunswick. Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island with a high temperature of around -6. And for Nova Scotia, the high temperatures on Saturday between -3 and -6. There will be a chance of some flurries up around the north shore of that province as well as into areas of Cape Breton. Callum, I'd like to take this time to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and the same for all of our viewers as well.
Thank you so much, Kaylin, and we've got some good news on the Santa Claus front this evening. He is moving quite quickly on his around-the-world trek. In fact, NORAD reports he's getting closer to the Maritimes.
NORAD is receiving reports that Santa's sleigh is moving north toward Canadian airspace from the mid-Atlantic. CF-18 Hornets from the Royal Canadian Air Force are escorting Santa through Canadian airspace.
All right, finally for us tonight, Christmas observances return to the streets of Bethlehem today. The sound of drums and bagpipes playing popular Christmas carols filled the air as Christians young and old made their way down to the city's central manger square. Scouts marched under a clear blue sky as the Palestinian city emerged from the shadow of the war in Gaza to celebrate its first festive Christmas in more than 2 years. Bethlehem residents hope the return of Christmas festivities will breathe life back into the city and kickstart the return of visitors. All right, that is our look at the day here at home on this Christmas Eve. A reminder, ctvnewsatlantic.ca has updates for you anytime. For that, I'm Callum Smith. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, have a good night.